Hello again. Pietermaritzburg High Court Judge Piet Koen says his recusal from the arms deal trial was motivated by his conscience, his constitutional duty and integrity of the judiciary. Koen handed down his judgment earlier today, saying that his continuing to preside over the matter could infringe on the former President Jacob Zuma's rights to a fair trial, as Ziyanda Ngcobo reports.
Judge Piet Koen has recused himself from the arms deal matter, citing the importance of upholding the integrity of the trial and maintaining public confidence in the judiciary. Koen says that his comments about the alleged unlawful leaking of the medical records of former President Jacob Zuma by advocate Billy Downer to News 24 journalist Karen Moore has given him reason and pushed his conscience to believe that there's reasonable apprehension of bias.
I have come to the conclusion, and it was not an easy decision, that I have to recuse myself from the trial. It is what the sound administration of justice, the requirements of the Constitution, and my conscience dictate. The integrity of the judicial process must be protected against any reasonable taint of suspicion, so that the public and litigants may have the highest confidence in the integrity and fairness of our courts. The trial will therefore have to continue before another judge.
Koen also says that he is not the right person to preside over a ruling over whether or not Downer should not be involved in the arms deal trial, but also maintains that this doesn't necessarily mean that Downer is on a personal crusade against former President Jacob Zuma.
The mere fact that a private prosecution is being pursued against the prosecutor in a pending trial by the person being prosecuted is a matter of considerable concern, and might even strongly suggest that he should be removed as a prosecutor. But it is not per se, in my respectful view, necessarily conclusive of the issue, for reasons which I need not dwell on further in the summary. It does not mean that if there's a private prosecution that the prosecutor is necessarily involved in a personal crusade against the accused, and must therefore, in all instances without qualification, be disqualified from continuing as prosecutor.
The Jacob Zuma Foundation has welcomed the move by Koen, describing it as a sober call.
We are elated with this kind of decision by the judge. This is a very sober decision by the judge. This is the judge that wants to make sure that the entire process is within the realm of constitutionality. The entire process is beyond reproach. The entire process is seen to be objective and fair. And this is the reason why we don't understand why the NPA doesn't seem to understand this principle. And we hope that what the judge has said and all the motivation that the judge has used, the NPA should use the exact same motivation to say Advocate Downer cannot be perceived to be free and fair and prosecuting without objectively, as it were. If the judge can make that call on almost the same kinds of issues, why is it difficult for the NPA to do exactly the same?
Meanwhile, legal expert Mpumelelo Zikalala says the decision by Koen is reflective of a judge who puts the integrity of the law before their own personal ambitions.
This is exactly the type of judges that we should be sitting and having in South Africa. A judge is going to say, this is above me, this is not about me, it is about the law, the protection of the law, and most importantly, the protection and promotion of the interest of justice. If the interest of justice so dictates that I mustn't sit in a particular matter because I've made it in pronouncement, that's exactly what I should do. In fact, the laws allows it. So if this particular application is initiated by the presiding officer himself, it definitely means that he had foresight and said, I do not want to be tainted in another occasion. I do not want these proceedings to be tainted by technicalities. I want the merits of the case, when they are to be heard, to be listened to purely on their merits. There's nothing there they should come in that is going to taint these particular proceedings, including me as a presiding officer. So if I've made those particular pronouncements, whether directly or indirectly, whether it was intentional or not, or I had the foresight that this matter is going to take this particular turn, there's neither here nor there. But to protect the integrity of this particular court to protect the integrity of the robe that I'm wearing, let me recuse myself from this particular matter so that at the end of the day, everything is going to be according to plan and every decision which is taken must be in the best interest of justice.
The matter has now been adjourned to the 17th of April, where it's anticipated that more housekeeping issues will be dealt with before the first witness is actually called to the stand. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo in Pietermaritzburg.